Hello. I know you can't hear me, but hi. Here, we'll get started. Okay, let's see if I can remember what was happening. Because I haven't actually gone through and rewatched my old VOD, the second VOD. What are we? Well, we'll just start and we'll see if I can remember what we're currently doing. Hold on. There we go. Alright, this guy was, yeah, I know this guy. Let's see if I can find it. Why is good morning so hard to say in Scottish? Good morning. Good morning, Clay. Did you sleep well? I did. It took ages for you to fall asleep. I was too excited thinking about our adventure. But I slept really well. Happy to hear that. Tia, did you sleep? She passed out right after she had some soup. I hoped that Lady Cassiopeia would send me signs for my divine mission in my dreams. Did she? I don't remember. Sounds like you slept well then. Okay, what the divine mission? Okay, so the sky was falling. The stars fell and the sky was falling, and it is because a mysterious figure made a giant whale really, really cold. And so the giant whale went and swallowed a star, which threw everything out of whack and caused all of the stars to fall. And we're trying to find out who bad wizard person is. It's probably a mysterious hooded guy who threatened us and left us this letter that we still can't read. Anyhow, I see you had time to prepare the quest. Wonderful. Let's get started. Let's take this one step at a time. Clay, I was looking forward to some soup. Then I hope you like lentils. I left some with your purple friend and told him to keep an eye on it. Well, I hope Andu enjoyed that soup. Thank you for feeding my familiar, Clay. Of course. Did you two enjoy your soup? Very much. Clay is quite the talented chef, even though eating it did make me very tired. And Tia's a very good cooking companion. It took a while to make, so we had a lot of time to talk. It was nice. What did you talk about? Friendship bracelets, I hope? Not quite. Many things. Like I thought it'd be fun to make her niece one of the little dolls my granny taught me to make. The ones with the flower dresses and mini axes. That would be super cute. I don't have any siblings or cousins, but Tia said she's gonna make little star lamps for my parents' garden. Aww. Is that so? He offered to cook for my family. And I can't offer to cook for his. My cooking skills are unimportant to my destiny. But I thought if I were to visit, it would be appropriate to bring some sort of thank you gift. And who wouldn't want some stars in their garden? Especially now. That sounds lovely. Have you ever visited the Highlands before? No, not this far, though I have always wanted to. Our snow dragon building competitions are famous. I've never heard of those. Oh. But they do sound intriguing. When I was young, one of my favourite stories the Elysian told me was that of the ever-burning flame. It is said to have been a gift from Leviathan to the first mortals. Along with it, he bestowed the power of elemental manipulation upon his chosen. I vaguely recall there being another version where one of his guardians stole the flame from him instead. Blasphemous hearsay is all that is. We should be thankful for the gifts he has given us. I've always wanted to pay my respects to the flame. And it just happens to still be burning in an ancient temple in the Highlands, keeping the hope of Asteria alive for eternity. So I'm looking forward to seeing it in person sooner rather than later, and with a local guide, no less. I've never visited it before either, but I once went to see the Autumn Glow Festival in Varica. You can see the temple from there. The Autumn Glow Festival? What's that about? I'm sure he can tell you all about it another time. Please, let's get back to the quest. I have one more question. Fine. One more. What's your favorite animal? Why? I'm curious. I'm not sure. I've never been asked that before. You don't know what your favorite animal is? No. Do the dragons count? Not sure if you want to call a dragon an animal. You're right. That would be blasphemous. It would also be correct. And funny. But their egos wouldn't take it. I'm pretty sure we're a dragon. Like, that is my bet. I think that we are we're one of the dragons. Which makes this very funny. Tia, we have to figure out what your favorite animal is. Why? It doesn't matter. Of course it does. Getting to know yourself is one of the most wonderful experiences in the universe. I know myself. And yet you don't know what your favorite animal is. But don't worry, we'll figure it out together. Doesn't that sound fun, Tia? It doesn't. But thank you. Of course. Now, the quest. Of course. Should I add a quest about finding out what your favorite animal is? Yes. No. Don't worry, Innkeeper. I'll put one together myself. I'm sure you will. Thank you, Clay. So I'm assuming you're going together? Unfortunately, I was going to go alone, but Clay insisted on coming along. Why is that unfortunate? It's a very dangerous quest, and he's not practiced in the ways of a divine warrior. I don't actually remember what this quest is. Could you imagine if you tried to befriend some bleak stalkers? Right, where there's a cave with a bunch of bleak stalkers and something. We can find this. We can find this. This is important. Quests. Scandal and Zophyr? No, this is the one that we sent the child detective on. Oh, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Right. Okay, so there was archives. The Lost Everbloom archives. That'd make for a fun story, I think. But if you really want to do this alone, you could just go by yourself. Who would make her soup, then? Exactly. That makes sense. Plus, I need to meet those bleak stalkers. I've never seen any before, and I can't wait to find out what they like to eat. You. They like to eat you. Only if they're hungry. Could you at least try to be reasonable? I am. Local creatures can be very helpful. I know they can be dangerous too. Of course, it's important to have your guard up so you can defend yourself if they're scared. Generally, if you approach anything non-violently, they'll like you more. Maybe the innkeeper can give us some extra charisma too, so we can convince them to help us out. I could offer you some honey flowers as well. They can be very inspiring, even to bleak stalkers. I think so, at least. I've never tested that one out, actually. We could test it for you. Nonsense. We need to head into this knowing we'll have to fight our way through. The name Bleak Stalkers doesn't exactly inspire confidence in their hospitality. Not to mention there could very well be many more dangerous monsters roaming the abandoned Everbloom. We need to refresh our strength and hope that our mortal weapons will be enough to damage them. Nah. If that's of concern, I could offer you some citron. It's infused with divine properties that'll bless your weapon strikes. I do want to use all of the infusions. With little help from the dragons, no creature should be able to withstand you, no matter how bleak. But I also want to deal with things with charisma. Citron can only be found deep within the Forbidden Valley. How would you even have access to that? Oh, you know. No, I don't. Anyway, I think both of your strategies could work. Strength and Citron will let you fight your way through any danger in no time. But the right mix of defense, charisma, and honey flowers might offer a more unconventional solution. I am all for unconventional solutions. Can you help us decide? I don't want to argue. Sure. Unconventional solutions. Pet undo. Okay. So we want something with defense and charisma. Okay, so let's start with putting, this is the honey flower, which already gives 1 in charisma. So we just need something with defense. First snow should work. We do one of those. And then we do 3 of these. Boop. I would love to hear the story about you befriending those bleak stalkers. Or at the very least, how their teeth were no match against your armor. Or your pecs. Plus, this worked well for you last time, Tia. Let's hope I'll be lucky again. Fine. I trust your judgment, innkeeper. Maybe you shouldn't, but you know. Good, you should. Thank you for all your help, innkeeper, but we should get going now. Indeed. Wait, why are you in such a hurry? Yesterday I met Fable at the farmer's market and they helped me pick out the right vegetables for the soup. And then they invited me to their barbecue on the 31st of Cassiopeia. So we need to make it back in time for that. Good job, Fable. You can always leave early if it takes too long. What about you? What about me? You're also coming. Yeah, you are. You're gonna have friends whether you like it or not. I have to work. You also have to eat. Saving the world is bound to make you hungry. And you might even have fun. I will consider it. Let's hurry then. Let's. Innkeeper, can you let Fable know we'll be back in time? Of course. I'll let them know as soon as they grace my tavern with their presence again. Oh yeah, Bryce should know too. I think she's bringing her famous fortune nuggets. I'll tell her as well. I wish you a successful quest. It shall be so. See you soon. It's Posh Boy. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find this again. This whole, first hour is just gonna be me refinding all of my character voices. Greetings, innkeeper. Hello, Archie. Good to see you again. It's always a delight to be here. It makes me feel like I'm part of something bigger already. I'm glad to hear that. Speaking of which, were you able to help those farmers out? Oh yes, talking to Fable was truly inspiring. They were so right. The farmers really had no interest in gold or other riches. So instead, I helped them with reconstructing their land, barns, houses, with my own 2 hands. I even got some blisters from it. Remnants of my first ever heroic deed. Very exciting and painful. Now that I think about it, do you have a recipe for a drink that could help out in this specific situation? I want to be able to help every single farmer with ease. I want to lift the heaviest logs and steel myself of the most stubborn splinters. You're right, a drink like that is still missing from my recipe book. Let me think of something. Oh, thank you dearly. When I was making my way to your tavern, I walked past an astounding duo of adventurers. A stunning seraph and a massive half-giant. They were so utterly impressive. I aspire to be like them someday. It feels like I'm in a book, like I delved headfirst into one of the stories on my bookshelf. Magic and adventures surrounding me with every step, and unknown lurking dangers in the shadows. This is all so exciting. But now I'm just daydreaming. Originally, I came here seeking one of your magical drinks. Now, of course. What would you like? Preferably something that'll help me defend myself from devious dangers, like splinters in my hands. The drink I had last time did... Well, I presume it did something, but those splinters were a real nuisance, I'll tell you that. I got you. Don't worry. Steel tonic? That sounds right. With steel tonic running through your veins, you can become the buff party tank of your dreams. Its cooling qualities mixed with a surprisingly spicy aroma boosts your vitality to new heights and leaves you impenetrable to damage. That is, if they're even fast enough to hit you. Let's do that. Can I add multiple infusions? No, I can only add 1 infusion at any given time. Do these do the same? They do the same thing. I want to try this one. I want to give the little d20. Do I have enough? I think I should have enough. So it's 1 this, and then 1 of that, and 2 of that. Perfect. Protection against your arch nemesis, splinters. Here you go. Ha! I can already feel my skin getting tougher. Helping people grow calluses is my secret party trick. Maybe I should bring my friend here someday. Your drink-mixing magic is quite peculiar, really. Oh, your friend? Is he from Winmore as well? That is correct. I've known him since we were kids. Mostly due to our parents being of similar wealth and influence, I think we're kind of chosen to be friends. We decide to write each other letters when he's not here in Zenith. He's actually in kind of a dire situation right now. You see, he's a diplomat, deeply involved in the whole Deria mainland negotiations. Due to him nearly getting kidnapped during his last business trip to Deria, he decided to fire his entire personal security crew. If you ask me, his reaction was a little over the top. But I don't interfere with his decisions, so... Now, he doesn't have any bodyguards, and I would like to help him. Hello, Astro! But honestly, I have no clue what I should do. He definitely doesn't need my money, just like the farmers didn't. He's got more than enough of that as it is. So we are playing Tavern Talk. We are a tavern owner giving out quests and drinks to adventurers who come by and deciding their fates while saving the world. Yeah, it's super fun. I've been having fun just doing different character voices for everybody. It really, like, honestly, I would love this job. This would be an awesome job. I guess just get to make magic potions and send people on quests. Like, it'd be awesome. Plus, like, let's be real, everyone in this game is very pretty. I mean, if you're brave enough, you could volunteer to be his bodyguard. Splendid idea. I like how you think, Innkeeper. But I don't know if I'd be strong enough, even with your magically infused drinks. You might need more protection than I could offer. No, this game is totally up your alley. Well, I still do that thing with the quests. Oh, you're right! I could just hang up a quest on your pinboard. And then some brave adventurers will offer to help us out. My friend means the world to me. I would never forgive myself if something happened to him. So you're looking for the best bodyguards in Zenith? Absolutely. Well, I already have some folks in mind that are more than qualified to do the job. Let's just hope my quest writing skills are enough to attract just the right people. Do you write a lot? No. Yes. Sometimes. I love to write stories about cunning and courageous adventurers. And somehow they always manage to get out of the most dreadful situations by cheating death multiple times. But that's, well, writing doesn't really fit the image of a heroic adventurer himself, does it? Why would I dream of other people's journeys if I could live the tales myself? Got a fair point. Also, it's always easier to write about things you've experienced firsthand. Absolutely. Oh, I can't wait to see my friend again and help him out. I'll be more than prepared. Fable also offered to teach me how to use a bow. How could I say no to such an enticing offer, getting taught by the Fable of the Ashen Grove themselves? It's more than I could have ever dreamed of. They also mentioned another friend of theirs, an imposing Vukakin lady named Carolyn. Do you know her by any chance? Oh, Carolyn? Yes, I know her quite well. She's quite the local legend. I'm surprised you hadn't heard of her. She single-handedly outsmarted a wyvern chimera. That's incredible! This tavern is full of hidden treasures. Apparently, Lady Carolyn is bored because her newest protege is on a mission and hasn't returned yet. So she'll be joining my training with Fable. Oh, you're in for a ride. How thrilling. I nearly can't contain my excitement. But for now, I've got to think of the right words for the job posting. Don't worry about that. Assembling quests for patrons is one of my services. Really? That'd be so helpful. I got you. You'll have the perfect crew of bodyguards for your friend assembled in no time, trust me. Thank you so much, and also thank you for the drink. Coming here is always a delightful source of inspiration. I'm always happy to help. Until then, innkeeper. See you next time, adventurer. Ooh, you're new. I gotta come up with a voice for you. Okay. See, if I could do like a New York Boston-y, I would. However, I cannot. Hey, how's it going? Hello, come on in. This is a cute little tavern, not gonna lie. I wasn't that convinced from the outside, but the interior is really adorable. I'm glad. Are you accustomed to more opulent exteriors? For sure. But I do enjoy the cozy feeling of a simple tavern. You know, it's good being away from the hustle and bustle of the big city sometimes. I get that. Are you new in town? I am. How'd you know? It's been a while since I last saw a phantasm around here, that's all. I just took a guess. Ah, I see. I came here straight from the capital. Just needed a moment to breathe, you get me? Oh, I do. That's why I settled here, on the outskirts of Zenith. This town is big enough for me to never run out of work, but small enough to not feel overwhelmed. Yeah, exactly. So, you run this business, innkeep? Correct. Just me, my familiar, and this tavern. Oh, and all the regulars that come here, of course. Of course. Alright, see you soon. And with whom do I have the pleasure today? Perhaps one of my next regulars? Who knows? Maybe. The name's Voyage, but you may call me Voy. Alright, Voy. Got it. What can I do for you today? Well, I mean, a drink would be the way to go, I suppose. Wait, don't tell me you haven't heard of me. Not yet, I'm afraid. I suppose I should have? I'm the Voy, the famous bard. Ring any bells? Nope. Well, I guess you'll have to get to know me then. And what better way to do so than with a fine drink made by the finest innkeeper? You're a real sweet talker, aren't you? I guess I am. Yeah. Is there something specific you would like? No. Surprise me with something that'll make me even more irresistible, like a real Prince Charming. Okay, man. Have I done 1,000 wins yet? I think I have. What does this do? Charming and elusive as their elemental messengers. Its airy swirls are perfect for avoiding unwanted questions. Have I made this? I'm not sure I have made this. We'll try making this one. No, that gives, like, intelligence. I want... That also gives intelligence. This? That should do it, I think. And then... Yeah, cool. May this drink give you an untwistable silver tongue. Oh, this is good. Nearly as good as my musical talent. I have a feeling this drink might influence your next performance. Will it boost my charisma even further? You'll have to wait and see. Let's just say you might want to come back afterwards to get another drink. Oh, now you're teasing me. How about you tell me more about you now? Didn't you want me to get to know you better? Hold on tight to your counter, innkeeper, because I'm about to knock your socks off. Bring it on. So, right in front of you is the one and only Voy. Traveler of lands, stealer of hearts, and the most famous bard in all of Fazoa. Not only because of his immaculate talent, but also because of his good looks, I might add. I'm fairly impressed. Well, of course you are. Might ask for an autograph later, then. What brings you here, boy? As I said, I just needed a breath of fresh air. A short break from the big city. Is it hard being famous? Not really, no. Maybe a little bit, sometimes. But making music and performing is my job, and I absolutely love it. So it's not a big deal, really. It just makes me cherish the quieter moments. Makes sense to me. Would it be cool if I kept you in your little familiar company for a bit? Absolutely. Make yourself at home. Nice. I want to be mean to him. I know, he's probably actually gonna end up being really nice. But I just kind of want to be mean to him. Oh, hey, isn't this is Quincy from Quincy's Tavern. Hello there, traveler. What can I get you? Usually it's my role to ask that, but given the circumstances, I'll humor you. I don't know his voice well enough. I haven't watched enough of his stuff. Well, this is my tavern. And it has come a long way. Love the color of the walls. A new coat. It's been a good few years since my last renovation. But yes, I thought it was time to accept some change into my life. Thought so. What is life if not the constant changing of the self? How I missed your endless wisdom, Quincy. I can only imagine, innkeeper. You look like you might be in need of a refreshment. How about a drink? Yeah, long journey. Surprised me with something as charismatic as your little establishment. We'll go Sunny Breeze. I think it's Feather. Yeah, we'll go Feather. I think I could do Feather or Flower for this, but we'll go Feather. Wait, I needed one more of this. Boop. Here you go. Liquid Charisma. My specialty. This tastes magical. Seems like you've improved a good deal since last time. Practice makes perfect, after all. Indeed. So, what brings you to this corner of the world? Ah, I'm looking for the feathers of a peculiar little bird. They're said to only reside in this neighborhood. Or continent, rather. What bird? The golden loon. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but the golden loon? They're quite beautiful to behold. If I were you, I'd look for them near a big lake. And that's usually where they hang out. but only in Fizoa. Hence why I came all this way. Oh, plumage of gold, glistening in lights of day. A traveler's bolt. That'd be a very poetic way to greet them. Tell that to the stupid Song of Vigor Guild. They didn't like it? Nah, they don't like anything that isn't mainstream. Like subtext. But isn't that what lyrical works are all about? Pouring your heart and soul into something for others to take in? And only if you push away the layers and read between the lines will you find the true meaning. Exactly my thinking. It's just that now, I'm afraid they'd laugh at me. Or remember me as the bard without a heart, all because they don't understand. You know, there's nothing wrong with being afraid. Fear can sometimes keep us safe from danger. But something to keep in mind is that fear does not stop death. It stops life. Do you enjoy your art? Yeah, and I want others to enjoy it too. I, for one, greatly enjoyed your Golden Loon haiku. I'll be nice to him. Me too. Aw, innkeeper, thank you. That face, though. You shouldn't base your value on whether people like what you create or not. There'll always be those who don't get it and those who find themselves in it. Do it for the people who appreciate your art, but most importantly, do it for yourself. That's one way to look at it. You know, I imagined all this so differently. Way easier, for sure. Moving from Tregarin, the smallest of towns, to the big city, I always dreamed of joining the SOV Guild. And then they promptly rejected me. But I'm Voyage, and I don't give up because of things like that. I don't need a guild to get out there and share my music. All I need is me and my Hagium. Hagium? Hagium? I have no idea how to pronounce that. That's right. I've seen many people spend too much time giving attention to those who will never understand them. My 2 cents. Live for what you believe in and allow others to make their own decisions. That's what I'm doing. Good. But unfortunately, I have to leave now. Gotta find those loons before it gets dark. It was nice having you around, Quincy. Until next time, and don't forget, take care of yourself, Innkeeper. And be safe out there, Voyage. You too. That's really cute that they gave him a cameo. Nice guy. Yes, he's an old friend. Didn't know you do friends. Perhaps we could be friends too, Innkeeper. Not yet. Oh. Maybe one day. You're still here. Wow. Alright, pirate. I can do pirate. Welcome back. Quick, Innkeep. Your strongest drink. This is an emergency. What happened? It's absolutely urgent. Relationships are on the line. Not lives? Listen, Innkeep, I'll tell you the story, don't worry. But you gotta be a little patient because Baya really needs a drink first. Yes, please. What do you need? The same as last time? I do not remember what that was. Oh, that one was really delicious. I'd love to taste it again, please. Got it. I'll get you something that'll make you feel as agile as a spider again. Okay. Defense. I don't remember exactly what I gave her. It's probably Swift Strike. We'll just go Swift Strike. There you go. My strongest drink to the rescue. Thank you. This is good. Oh, thank the dragons. That pause made me so nervous. I really thought she would mess it up. Thanks for having so much faith in me, Una. You're welcome. Vaya, are you feeling better now? Yes, at least a little bit. That's good to hear. Please fill me in on the situation now. I've never seen you this upset, Vaya, and you have to endure the Bloomtide Festival every year. You're right. So, I have this group of friends. They're girlfriends. We three have been inseparable for at least a few centuries. But now... That was a fun noise. Very insensitive to ask an emotionally vulnerable and sweet girl what's troubling her and keep her. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. It's okay. How about I tell her what's going on, Baya? So you don't have to strain yourself. Thank you. Okay, so Sweet Baya over here has had a long-lasting group of friends, right? Right? They're a trio, inseparable for at least a few hundred years. And they're an adorable trio, might I add. The Swamp Monster, the Banshee, and the Mary Morgan. Ah, yes, the Mary Morgan, the wrathful spirit that is known to drown men. I've heard she doesn't really differentiate between genders, though. Yep, that's right. Anyways, the Mary Morgan and the Banshee are a couple. So I figured. Have been for a while. I recall them coming by once or twice. But right now, how should I put it? They're in a domestic dispute. For some reason, the two have completely stopped talking to each other. They even refuse to show up to Baya's monthly tea parties, insisting they'll only come if the other isn't invited. Why? I don't know. It's like they don't like each other anymore. And soon they won't like me anymore either. It does smell like a breakup. Let's not catastrophize. I don't want my friend group to fall apart. People have always left me because I scare them. I don't want them to leave me too. Now, I'm sure they won't. Say something, Innkeeper. Even if they do break up, you'll be fine. You'll find new friends. I'm sure of it. Now that's reassuring. That's probably the wrong thing to say. I'm just trying to be realistic. Ugh, don't listen to she. But what if she is right? What if they do break up? What if they really leave me? I just wish there was something I could do to help them. If I might just add my 2 cents real quick. Hi, I'm Voy. That's short for Voyage. You might have heard of me before. I'm pretty famous. No. Doesn't ring any bells, sorry. So, Baya, that's your name, right? What's keeping you from getting to know other people? Like, you seem really chill.
Well, usually everyone's afraid of me. But the innkeeper has always been nice to me. I trust them. And I've known Una for a while now.
Didn't she pick endangered flowers from your backyard last time you met?
Yes. The bouquet was really cute.
I know, right? You meet a lot of people when you travel across the lands looking for potential clients and work. And honestly, I've seen stranger creatures than her in my years as an adventurer. But is also really cute under all that moss and kelp.
Oh,
She is. She's adorable.
shush.
I mean, you might look a little terrifying, that's true. Maybe you just have to figure out how to get through to people. I'm sure they'd want to be your friends.
I don't know about that. Usually they try to burn me. Luckily, I don't scar easily.
Oh, what a nice metaphor. Might have to use that in a new song if you don't mind. People hurting you over and over again just because they're afraid. Ex is leaving you, but you always manage to get over them.
It's not a metaphor. Once every few moons, people surround me with torches and pitchforks.
Oh. Ah, well, that's unfortunate. You don't say, kid. But honestly, I know how you feel. Sometimes facing people is terrifying when you feel so different. But there's always something to love about everyone, like my handsome smile or enchanting voice.
Maybe people would enjoy my spa.
You're on a spa? That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You should come visit sometime. That's short for voyage.
Just Voy is fine.
Do you want to come too, Una?
I'd love to, yes. There's nothing more soothing for old bones than a nice swamp bath. Do you get a lot of customers?
No. None.
Maybe I can change that. Let me advertise your spa at my next performance.
I would love that. Thank you.
No worries, Baya. But let's get back to your girlfriends. And Keep, don't you know someone that could help them out? The situation is kind of tricky. They might need a mediator. I can absolutely hang up a quest for you if you want.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Of course. Making my patrons happy is part of my job. Now who's the sweet talker, huh?
But now I have to wait, right?
Yes, unfortunately. How about you show us around your spa in the meantime?
It would be my pleasure.
And once we're back, there'll be a solution for your two friends. No pressure. There's a millennium-long relationship on the line. Remember that. Absolutely no pressure. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
See you then, Innkeep. Yeah, see ya. Ah, I can't wait to feel how smooth my skin is after a mud mask. You think I could take my crochet hook with me? And boop. And boop. The Mary Morgan, known for her passion for drowning trespassers, and the Banshee, singer of bone-shattering songs in the Lonesome Lagoon, are two terrifying creatures in love. But because of a mysterious dispute, their relationship is on the line, and their best friend, the Swamp Witch Baya, would do anything to keep her friend group from shattering. Couples counselor sorely needed. Do I have another? I do have another one. Spinal Rhino. Oh, right, yeah, we need Diria, Diplomat, Bodyguard. Political tension ensued when the canal bridge connecting Diria to the mainland collapsed, especially because spinal rhinos can't exactly be held responsible. The ambassador tasked with solving this mess is a young noble, and his worried best friend insists he's still in dire need of a new personal guard, especially since the roads are unsafe for travelers lately. If those travelers are cattle, anyway. No fable today. Alright, water break taken. She's back! Fazella's best detective duo has returned. Welcome back, Melly and Malachite. John? I'm calling him Aura now. Because he's giving you migraines? No, because of his gloomy aura, of course. Well then, Melly, Aura, it's good to have you two back in town. I assume you're able to solve the mystery surrounding the missing familiars? Yes, with the help of my trusty assistant, I was able to figure it out. That's remarkable, I have to say. Good thing you went with her, Aura. It was a dangerous mission. Did you encounter a T-Rex? Of course not, but we were nearly burned alive. That's not what I would have expected. You must always expect life to double-cross you. I'm glad you both made it back in one piece. But I'm curious, what was the reason behind those vanishing familiars? Do I need to worry about Andu disappearing too? How about we tell you what happened in Zoford, but only in exchange for 2 free drinks? I can see you've learned a thing or two on your first big mission. Or it taught me how to be more cunning. Only the basics. No need to be so humble. You taught her well. What kind of drink would you like today, Melly? I want something... Something that'll polish my investigative and deductive skills. A drink that'll make me even smarter than I am now, so no mysterious case like this one will ever be unsolvable for me. Coming right up. We'll go. We'll go Peak Sunrise. Yeah, that should work. 2 of those. And then 1 of those. And then 2 of these. Yay! Let's see if this will make your brain cells multiply.
Thank you. Let me try. Oh, this is good. I can already feel it. I'm going to be completely unstoppable.
Oh no. Oh yes. Initially, I wanted to sit this one out, but I might actually need a drink now. It would be my pleasure if it means that I get to hear your story. Also, I am longing for another one of your little secrets. Right. We made a deal. Correct. Correct. So, what will it be today? Maybe something that'll help me counter her verbal attacks, now that she's linguistically invincible. So the usual. Alright. Give me a second. I'll be right back. We'll give him a spoken heart. This should make things easier for you. Oh. I can see it in his face. Is it that bad? Huh? No, silly. He likes it. You can clearly see it in the way his scarf is moving. Ah, I see. My deductive skills aren't that bad after all. You think you could teach me a thing or two sometime? Of course. Then we'll be a trio. The detective, her trusty assistant, and the curious apprentice. I like the sound of that. It's been a while since I've been an apprentice. I don't remember being asked if I wanted to be a part of this. But I couldn't have completed the quest without you. Also, being a detective's trusty assistant is an honorable duty. And I'm glad you came with me. Of course. Couldn't let you walk headfirst into the open maw of a hungry T-Rex. Did you actually encounter a T-Rex in Zoford? No. Don't be silly. For a moment, I thought you just shared one of your many secrets with me. Right. I guess I owe you one of those now. My hair isn't actually all black. I know. That's not a secret. I can clearly see the white streak. Anyways. But now, please, I'm dying to know what happened in Zoford. So, thanks to the golden feathers, we made it to Zoford in the blink of an eye. I don't think I've ever felt that fast in my life. It was like he had the zoomies. They helped us remain unseen, too. Thanks to your drink, we were able to sneak around the city without attracting too much attention. But those ghosts were the clue we needed. I knew we'd find something at the docks, so we made our way there. She was right. In the dead of night, just hours after we had left your tavern, we spotted a peculiar dog roaming near the water. We watched as it tried to sneak onto a cargo ship. It behaved weird, undog-like. It hid behind some barrels and kept looking left and right before it started to sneak on board. I'd never seen a dog do that before. It looked like it didn't know how to be a dog. It didn't use its nose, its ears. It was just off. We watched as one of the workers noticed the dog and scared it away. But my investigative senses were tingling. So we started asking around, as detectives do when they want to collect some evidence. A few people said they had also seen some animals with odd behaviors. Most of them thought they had some kind of illness, like rabies, or that they were spirits disguised in animal forms sent by a sea witch. So they stayed away and minded their own business. Not very high-class detective of them, but they made for fine witnesses. Apparently there's something like a weekly get-together for all the town's familiars. We decided to check it out. And we managed to track down a few of the participating familiars to get more insight. It was a little tricky since none of them wanted to talk to us at first. I think they were a bit wary of strangers. It also seems to be difficult for familiars to speak to people they don't know. Must have something to do with their magical abilities. But with our combined charm and charisma, Aura and I were finally able to gain the trust of one of them. And they told us something strange. They said all those familiars that went missing seemed to have been in contact with one particular magician. So of course we had to pay that wizard a visit. Preferably when he wasn't at home. I think that's called burglary. Finding out his address was child's play. Apparently he's quite popular among the people of Zoford. It just took Aura a little bit of well-executed bribery to find the mage's home. Did you take some notes? I did. Prepare yourself to be my next test subject, Innkeeper. I'm excited to see how much you've learned. You'll be surprised. Flabbergasted. Gobsmacked. Very well. Your drink really did wonders. We managed to break in without anyone noticing. It was so exciting. We snuck around looking for evidence, maybe a hidden ritualistic chamber or something like that. And did you find one? Sadly, no. But we found his office with the door open. Inside were a lot of books about different kinds of animals and familiars. We figured he just loves animals, or at least needed that knowledge for something else. As any world-class detective would, I also checked his trash can. And? Did you find anything? Well, nothing that helped to solve the case. But I did find something that you'd like between all that shredded paper. It looked like a recipe for a magical drink, just like the ones you serve. Ta-da! It's very useful. That's what I thought. Anyways, Aura and I continued our search for clues. His office also had books about common and uncommon diseases in animals, so we kinda had a connection to the reported cases of rabies. I thought it was a bit of a stretch. Not that I could change her mind. That wasn't all we found. Next to his desk in a small cupboard were his diaries. They were full of notes and spells that I didn't understand. Something about transmutational magic. While she studied his diaries, I rummaged through his belongings and scrolls. I had absolutely no clue what any of it meant, until I found something of interest. Detailed instructions on how to unbind a familiar from their services. A thought began to manifest itself in my brain, though I couldn't quite grasp it yet. But somehow my instincts told me I had all the information I needed. I just had to stitch everything together. Kind of like what I do when I assemble quests for my patrons. Exactly! But right when I tried getting to it, we heard the front door squeak and creak as someone entered the house. We tried to hide, of course, but we hadn't been quick enough with our investigation. And definitely not subtle either. The whole place looked super chaotic. The wizard immediately knew something was off. And a potentially dangerous person on high alert is even more dangerous, so we had to be on guard. Or I hid under the table, but I had other plans. I managed to jump on a bookshelf and wedge myself right on top under the ceiling. So I was hidden but could still see the whole room. Good call. I watched as the magician barged in, but he wasn't alone. He was accompanied by a lizard, a colorful bird, and a two-headed sheep. Oh no, not one of those again. Huh? It's nothing. Please continue. It was so weird. The bird didn't know how to fly, the wizard walked on 2 legs, and the sheep's 2 heads always looked in the same direction. As if they didn't know how to be real animals, just like the dog from the docks. But now we had proof. The weird animals were definitely connected to the weird wizard. And as if the wizard noticed something, he stopped and said to the animals, "No, you 3, get out of here. I don't want you to get in trouble or hurt." I already had my fingers wrapped around the handle of my knife, ready to strike. I'm sure he felt my murderous intent. But it does sound like he cared about those animals. That's what I thought too. As soon as they had left the room, I saw him create a ball of flames in his hand. He was ready to strike. And I knew I had to do something. He would have done horrible things to Aura. So I meowed. Like a cat. Uh-huh. I pretended to be a cat. And somehow it worked, even though I was wearing clothes. The wizard turned around and saw me on top of the bookshelf. His features turned from worried to soft in a millisecond, and he said, "Oh, a little rascal, how did you get in here? Did I lock you in? You must be terribly scared." And I was scared, but not for the reason he thought. So I just meowed a second time, as you do when you're pretending to be a cat. And they said very politely, "Would you please come down here? This room isn't a place for little cats, but I can offer you a cup of milk instead." And that was a very tempting offer, so as any cat would, I answered, "No, but I would love some chocolate milk." Oh, I love Melly. I love her so much. I kinda forgot that cats don't usually speak. Needless to say, his face was priceless. But then his hand started to light up again. I immediately knew she was in danger, so I broke every possible rule the Thieves Guild taught me and just popped up from underneath the table. That was very brave of you. Don't know if I'd have been so fearless. Well, I had to. The wizard turned around. He was surprised, maybe even scared, but he was also ready to fire at me. I already saw my life flashing before my eyes. And before I could even think about it, I yelled, "We know you don't mean any harm. You're just trying to protect those familiars, right?" Apparently I hit a nerve. He stopped right in his tracks. I took advantage of that moment and tried to explain why we were in his home in the first place. I told him everything about the quest, the familiars, the weird dog. Usually I'm not very good with words, but, well, your drink definitely did what it was supposed to. I don't know how, but I think we managed to de-escalate the situation. He looked panicked before that, as if he was being chased. Maybe he actually expected people to come after him. Hearing all of the clues out of Aura's mouth kind of flipped a switch in my brain. And I could see the truth right in front of me. Suddenly everything made so much sense. I jumped down from the shelf and began my conclusion. "It is clear to me that you, the accused, do not have ill intentions. However, that does not make you innocent. You're still involved in the disappearance of some familiars." She was walking back and forth while she gave her speech. Needless to say, the wizard and I were equally confused. "You're fond of animals, and as such, also familiars. And while I don't know anything about magic, I have heard the term transmutational before. Who hasn't, honestly? It's a broadly used term.
That right there was a blatant lie.
So I, the world's greatest detective, have concluded you are turning familiars into animals. Or at least you're making them look like animals. You also were accompanied by some of those turned familiars, and you cared for their safety. That means they are here of their own free will. So by turning them into animals, you did them a favor. They wanted to be transmuted. But now their patrons and the other familiars can't reach them anymore. And they're worried that something bad happened to them, and that's why we're here. Case closed. It's pretty impressive. And you figured that out all by yourself? Yep. The magician was also really impressed. I totally hit the nail on the head. I explained again that we were just there to investigate, but that it was also necessary for the familiars and their friends and families to talk to each other. The remaining familiars wanted an explanation, as well as their former mages. The wizard already felt guilty for doing something behind their backs, of course. Turns out the familiars were unhappy in their dragon-like bodies and much preferred feeling like real animals. But they were afraid of telling their patrons and familiar friends, so none of their remaining acquaintances knew what had happened. Of course, they expected the worst. Why else would your friends just leave you alone and disappear without a trace? Yeah. But obviously none of them wanted to continue on like that, so we helped to set up a meeting for them to talk it out. And they did. All the magicians were very understanding, if a little sad to lose their connections. The other familiars also welcomed them with open arms, even though they were a little confused at first. They needed a while to understand why their friends wanted to be animals. But I think they got it eventually. So, all in all, it sounds like a very successful quest. Absolutely. I'm glad you got to uncover the truth. Me too. The magician even decided to give us something in return for helping him. Neither of us have any use for it, so we wanted you to have it. Don't say that. That makes it sound like it's a bad gift, and it's not. What is it then? It's a ring of beast storing, with a lost familiar inside of it. He found it a long while ago, but its patron never showed up. We named it Renu. Melina can't take care of it, and I have my sheepfish, Rufus. But you have Andu, so you already know how to take care of a mini dragon. Oh, I absolutely do. You might enjoy some company. So thank you two very much. Yay, we got a new familiar! I need to get back to Rufus now. He gets lonely without me sometimes. Or is it that you get lonely without him? He's my pet. I need to take care of him. Don't worry, I'm sure Fable did a good job. Though it's nice to see how much you care for your pet. He's been my only friend since my parents died a long time ago. Oh. Were they also eaten by zombies? No. They were burned alive. Oh. Oh no. I remember it as if it were yesterday. It was late afternoon. My parents wanted to visit the adjacent village to buy some grain. But they never returned. I wanted to look for them. But when I got to the village, every house, every barn, and even the ground was ablaze. I heard yelling, people screaming in pain, pleading for help. And my parents were nowhere to be found. A few of the survivors confirmed they had seen them earlier that day, before the fire. I later found out the perpetrator was the pretentious son of a noble family.
He had a disagreement with a farmer over some payments and instead paid a bunch of criminals to set fire to his barn. But the fire spread uncontrollably and devoured everything in its path, including innocent lives. Just like it did today. That's awful. I'm sorry, Aura. It's alright. I bottled all my emotions up and combined them into desire. For a family? For revenge. Oh. But that sounds like a lonely desire, though. And you haven't found any friends since then? No. The people in the Thieves Guild helped me survive, but they weren't particularly keen on friendship. So I just chose the lonely path that was meant for me. That's not very nice of them. But now you have me. And we're best friends now. And accomplices. And we can found our own guild. Like a detectives guild. No. Give us a few more quests and we'll be the most famous detectives in all of Fizoa. I'm sure of that. And a good mythical morning to you, Innkeeper. This time it's actually still morning. But that doesn't mean it isn't also morning somewhere else in the world as well. Of course not. That's a really cute hat you're wearing. Thanks. Can I try it on sometime? Only if you tell me your name. A fellow master of bribery, I see. But there's nothing more you could possibly teach me. A world-class detective like me doesn't need extra lessons in bribery. So you're a detective? Yes. The best detective in all of Fizoa, I might add. I'm Melina, by the way, but you can call me Melly. Happy to make your acquaintance, Melly. I'm Hexagon Hex, but you can call me Hex. Like, by your last name? No, Hex, as in short for Hexagon, obviously. Ah. And who's that grim-looking fellow next to you? Oh, him? They look grouchy, but they're my world-class assistant. Not by choice. His name is Aura. I'm sure it is, yes. Nice to meet you, Aura. But I think you've gotten enough information out of me. Can I try on your hat now? That's a tricky one. You see this little star pendant on the tip of my hat? Uh-huh. It classifies me as a wizard of the primordial sea. A silver one, I might add. One of Leviathan's most trusted confidants. Ooh. And all of his knowledge is directly transmitted to anyone with a hat like mine. In particular, silver stars like me have access to information that, leaked to the masses, would break the order of this world. Oh, wow. But every silver star has to go through extensive mental training. Such amounts of knowledge would drive any mortal without proper training insane. Wizard person on the left has Spiritfarer vibes. That's true. He really does. No. So I can't let you try on my hat without endangering your life. And I couldn't forgive myself if I were the reason Fizoa's best detective went mad. That is very honorable of you. But I, the great detective Melina, have concluded that you, Hexagon Hex, are nothing but a bad liar. You're a great detective indeed. I honestly thought you were pretty convincing, Hex. Thank you. Wait, did you actually believe him?
must admit I considered it for a moment.
No way.
But I decided for myself that his words were fairly implausible. I just happen to know a thing or two about the primordial sea. I've read a few books, heard some rumors, you know how it is. And I really doubt Leviathan would share his precious knowledge with a mere mortal. Nothing against you, Hex. Thank the dragons. For a second, I really lost my faith in you there, Innkeeper. I gotta say, you're really convincing. I sure am. Looks like even a great detective like me never stops learning. Honestly, you could have just told me no, though. I would have revealed my name even without a promising magic hat on the line.
But it's more fun this way.
I think honesty is also a very important skill to master. Whatever you say, detective. But Hex, what brings you here today? Nothing really. I was just longing for another one of your drinks. You know, the kind that would flood my head with new ideas. Leave it to me. I will give you the exact same thing as Melly. Actually, no, we'll try this new one. The silent owl, you make the night your own. Its accentuated taste and hand-selected spices allow you to become the silhouette lurking in the shadows. Quick sip of this drink will grant you the sight, strength, and subtlety of a natural predator. What's that? That should work. No, that won't work actually. Well, will it? 1, 2, 3. 3. Yeah. Also pet undo. Pet undo. There you go. This should do the trick. Huh. Let's see.
Oh, I can already feel it. All the ideas, they're manifesting in my brain.
Honestly, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I guess we'll have to find out. Oh, can you maybe show me a magic trick? Just to test your abilities, I mean.
Oh, yes, of course I can. I'm glad you asked. You know, I'm a master of fire. Oh, then can you also do fireballs? I wouldn't call a fireball a mere magic trick, more like a fully fledged spell. But I can create 10 tiny flames on top of my fingertips. Like cute little candles.
I want to see that.
We just discussed this man's fire trauma. I would maybe advise you two to play with fire outside. A lot of my ingredients are very flammable. You'll miss a real big show then. I think I'll somehow manage to survive. Your loss. Aura, you coming as well? I'm good. Alright, Lone Wolf. You're missing out though. Certainly. See you later. Have fun. I love our new pet. Welcome back. Innkeep. Carolyn. This quest up for taking? It sure is. Why else would it be hanging on the quest board? Who asked you, thief? Are you going all by yourself? Of course, I don't do groups. but it could be quite dangerous. Diria seems to be a hotspot for danger at the moment. Do you want to come with me or what? If so, spit it out, kid. No. Fine. There's nothing this great sword can't cleave through by itself. Won't need much help. Cool. They always like that in Keep. Depends on who's in the room. Ah, I see how it is. You do? Yes, of course I do. You're like a dragon. You barely know me, so it's obvious that you're reserved so as not to expose any weak spots. But sometimes you gotta find the fine line between being reserved and being a tad too... edgy. That. Can you stop psychoanalyzing me? Yes. No. Great. Not like you're right with any of your assumptions. You could always enlighten us. I'll pass. But I wouldn't mind another drink. Same as always? Yes. Something... you know. Something for my aura. Gotcha. It's on the house this time. Pretty sure the last one was on the house too. I'll give him a sunny breeze. Thanks. That's good. Enough. Splendid. Alright, moving on. What about you, Carolyn? I'd like to know more about the chasmscape that's the path to Diria. I love the drink making system. Like, they all look so pretty. It's so cool. I mean, I haven't been there yet. Me neither, actually. Really? Do you think I never leave this tavern? Do you have any special insights that might be useful? Not so much about the situation in Diria itself, but bits and bobs I picked up over the last days. Enlighten me. As you might have read, travel to Diria has become a bit of a hazard. Collapsing bridges, disappearing animals, nervous diplomats. Sounds like a haven for bandits. Among other things. Either way, I'll get that blue blood to Diria. Of course. How about drink to aid with the undertaking? I thought you'd never ask. Any wishes? I mean, this could go either way. Depends on what's truly going down in Diria. Timing might be important, being swift and smart about it. Evasion, that's what you call it. I might have a good infusion for that. The feather of a golden loon. A what? Oh, a rare waterfowl. Legend has it the wind still resides in its feathers, which is why they lend you its speed. Huh. Intriguing. Suppose it'd be great for evasion if you added something for the brains to it. Though I'll be dealing with a diplomat, so a little additional charisma to get me on his good side wouldn't hurt either. Definitely doable. Alternatively, to be prepped for every possible situation, something to up my defenses wouldn't be too bad. How do you feel about traveling under the blessing of the dragons? I'm all ears. With a little citron, your weapon strikes will be blessed. Great against any bandits or bridges. It sounds like something my Baba would have chosen. Not that she would have needed it. If the situation really is that dangerous, something that'd give me more protection would fit. If it comes with enough strength to strike back, that is. But being able to evade the threat by being smart and fast about it might be better. You know what, Innkeep? I'll leave the choice to you. You should know what you're doing. Normally, I would go smart and fast. Let me think about it. But I also want to give her dragon blessing, because she likes the dragons. So I think we'll go with that this time. So I don't know, because it says only one drop. So I'm assuming because this is 2, this would actually be wrong. But I don't know if this means like it could be 1 or 2. I'll play it safe, I think, and we'll go with that one. Plus it gives a little bit of charisma. It all looks like magic. Yeah. May the dragons guide your way. May they. Where are you headed? Tyria. Some diplomatic clown is in need of aid. Needs some escorting of sorts. Aye, Innkeep. Is this the escorting quest you've been offering? Yep. Bugging crap. I've been meaning to take that one to earn a little bit of coin on the side. Well, I've already committed to it. And what if I tell you that I want the quest? Well, you ain't getting it. Simple. Could you stop me? Do you want me to try? I'd love you to. Come on now, just go together. Who asked you? Exactly. Your conversation is giving me a headache. The solution is as easy as it is efficient. Go together. One takes on the big bads, the others are the small ones. Either way, you're better prepared for a fight. And your defense will be better. Listen, I'm looking to buy some materials for an important project. Material costs exploded ever since the stars fell. I wouldn't mind a side gig. You look sturdy. Like you could take a few blows. So, sure. Let's do it. Let's meet tonight at the crossroads of Themis. We'll leave from there. Great. I'll head to my room to start packing. And to take a nap. Those are effective after all, huh? Oh, shush. You're a brooding fellow, aren't you? This is just who I am. I've met fellows like you before. You're all the same. Often you've got the truest hearts of gold. Can we skip the sincerity? My headache is bad enough. Innkeep. Rhea? Kyle keeps talking about fireworks. He's still oblivious about what actually happened. Luck's with the fools, they say. For many, it'd be easier if it had just been fireworks. He keeps blabbering about that letter. Oh? Have you opened it yet? No. Dreading what might be inside. I just don't care that much. Liar. At least come up with a better lie. Or he could just stop asking. Asking about what? Nothing. Of course not. I didn't mean to pry or anything, even though I'm very curious by nature. Good for you.
I would agree. That and wanderlust is the reason why I decided to come here. To the tavern, to Zenith, to adventure.
Woohoo.
Thank you. I've come to inquire whether someone has already embarked on the quest to escort my dear friend to Deria.
Very much so. She's sitting right here.
Where? Oh, how rude of me. Of course. Hello, brave adventurer.
Rhea's enough.
Hello, brave Rhea. You are the one who's going to escort my dear friend? Along with Carolyn.
That one.
Oh, Carolyn, phenomenal. I'm beyond thrilled to learn that my dear friend is going to be in such capable hands. Though, I've been wondering.
Come on, spit it out.
Could I perhaps join? It's totally alright if not, but this diplomat is very dear to me, and it feels like my duty to aid him.
Can you even fight?
Well, I can talk. Very well, in fact. I can fight with my words.
The wolf hated. So sure thing. Come along, lad. I'll show you some tricks. We'll leave at midnight.
Really? How exciting!
Come on, let's go.
Oh, how the turntables. Me going on a very dangerous and important quest instead of merely reading about it.
Seems like you're on the right path for your hero's journey.
Indeed. All the stories I'll have to tell when I return Innkeeper.
I can't wait.
Farewell. See you soon. Goodbye.
See you soon. I hope their quest goes well. They don't run into anything unexpected.
He keeps making little noises.
What's on your mind? Are there any open quests left?
There is one.
But it involves social conflict resolution. Sure, whatever. I'm taking this. Isn't it a bit too soon to go on another quest?
He's our newest familiar. He's a little mini dragon. I think his name is Renu.
Isn't it a bit too soon to go on another quest? You just got back. At least have a long rest, replenish some resources. I'm good. Are you sure? No, but who cares? I do. Don't. A bit too late for that, I'm afraid. I already paid you with a story today, so get me one of those quest drinks. Something with a little more violence. I don't think I'll be doing that.
Hi, Innkeeper.
They're not my favorite character. Mellie's definitely my favorite character because she's child detective and I love her. This is my second favorite character. Hi, Fable.
Hi, Mal.
Hi. Yeah. Never mind. Would you like a drink?
Actually, I'm here for a quest. Archie told me there was still one left, and I wanted to ask if I could take it.
Good question, Fable.
I see it's on me to answer it.
Aura is thinking about taking the quest.
Who's Aura?
John, Malachite, that guy.
Child detective sounds like...
Yeah, literally last stream I was like, because the child detective, she's this little I don't think they're called tabaxi in this, but it's a tabaxi. She's a little 10-year-old with a tragic backstory, and she came in and has the found family dynamic with the edgy rogue, and I'm just like, this is a character that I would play. Oh, nice name. Thank you. But if you're already taking it, I guess I'm too late. I hope you have fun. Why don't you two go together? Together? Is that allowed? Of course. Teamwork is the adventuring world's bread and butter. Most heroic deeds are not done alone. Life would be very lonely that way. It would be, yes. So you should go on this quest together. Combine your individual strengths to solve any problem better than you ever could alone. And you would get to know each other better in the process. It's a win-win. Or what do you think? Would you be okay with that? I guess. Would you? I think so. It sounds fun. Cool. It's settled then. You'll go together. If I can ask, what exactly is the quest about? Archie only mentioned there was one. It's simple. Baya is worried because the Banshee of the Lonesome Lagoon and the Mary Morgan of the Ashen Grove aren't speaking to each other. She fears the end of their relationship would also mean the end of her friendship with them. Baya is friends with the Mary Morgan? Best friends. Ah. So we need to talk to the Mary Morgan? And the Banshee. What an opportunity. Always wanted to come face to face with the embodiment of sorrow. Don't you think that's scary? No. You know what's scary? Failing relationships. Social fights, the most dangerous kind. I find them less scary than wrathful spirits. Seems like together your fears will cancel each other out. I don't know enough about math to dispute that. Speaking of math, ish, how do you two want to approach this? This is not an easy task, so we must be smart about it. Do you still have any of those fey crystals? The ones that make you fade into the shadows entirely? Sure do. Good. I suggest you mix those with a hefty serving of intelligence. Then we can turn invisible and come up with a clever ruse to make them fall for each other again without them ever knowing it was us. Do you just want to avoid social interaction? Maybe. Or maybe I just remember how well being invisible served me last time. Fair enough. I don't know. I feel like they should talk about their feelings. What if their feelings are that they never want to talk to each other ever again? Then they should talk about that too. That's not the point of the quest. I think it is. We should face the problem head on instead of trying to find a way to avoid it. I think I could do with another round of charisma for this one. And maybe... Innkeeper, Clay mentioned that you have Thunder Sage? That would help us inspire other people, right? Correct. I'll admit, it works a little differently for everyone, but I have no doubt you'll figure it out. Speaking of Clay, he wanted me to tell you that he and Tia will make it back in time for the barbecue. Really? That's amazing! Aura, you should come too! We're having a barbecue at the werewolf settlement on the 31st. It'll be great fun, I think. I don't think so. Oh, alright. I have to get back to Rufus at some point. He'll need his wool cut. Speaking of Rufus, if you're here, Fable, where's the sheepfish? Melina picked him up. She said she'd bring him home so he has to spend less time alone. Great. Was that wrong?
I told her exactly what kind of food to give him in case he gets hungry while they wait for you.
No, it's fine. He likes her. They're a good match. Anyway, we should hurry so you don't miss your barbecue.
You're right. Innkeeper, can you help us pick out the right approach? Either invisible or intellect or charismatic and inspiring. I trust your expertise. Let me think about it. One moment. I mean, we're going charisma. Charisma's always the right option. Go Sunny Breeze. Sunny Breeze and Thunder Sage. Yeah. I think a direct approach is the better choice. After all, honest communication is important, right?
Would you say so?
Very much so. And you? I think honesty is the best approach to any situation, including this one. Agreed. I think the only question left is, where should we start?
The Ashen Grove is closer.
And you already know where to find the Mary Morgan.
You do?
Yes. I encountered her before.
So she'll remember you. Useful.
I hope not. Last time she tried to drown me.
Oh, I see.
It was pretty embarrassing.
I know the way to the Banshee, too. It might be smarter to start with the one further away, work backwards and all.
That makes sense. Let's do that.
Good, but we should prepare first. The journey to Boreas won't be easy.
You're right. We should leave tomorrow morning.
We should.
Wonderful. Glad to know that you'll actually rest between quests, Aura.
If I must.
You went on a quest with Melly, right? How was it?
Fine. Reminded me of my parents.
Are they... well?
They're dead.
Ah.
Burned to death.
I'm sorry. That's horrible.
That's life.
It shouldn't be.
How old were you when you lost them? 7.
Oh, wow. That must have been really scary.
It was fine.
It doesn't sound fine. When I was 7, I ran into a vine-spiked boar while I was searching for friendly rocks. It chased me through the forest for almost an entire hour. At first I thought I was going to die, then I was sure I was never going to step foot outside again. But when they found me crying, my family hugged me so tightly they dried up all my tears. And when I sat in my room frozen in fear, we danced and played board games until I forgot I was even scared. I can't imagine not having that.
I can. It was...
Please don't say fine.
Scary. Really scary. I waited at home by myself for 2 whole days. I thought the shadows were going to eat me at some point. And when I finally was brave enough to leave, it was too late. You know it wasn't your fault, right? I know I never want to feel that scared again. But it's fine, because I fixed it. Fixed it? How? By taking revenge on the beep who caused their death. A popular approach these days. Did that make you feel any better? Yeah, sure. It was just a natural part of my journey. Following the path of darkness, it's my destiny. Misery is nobody's destiny. She's right. You shouldn't confine yourself to sadness just because it's what you're used to. Besides, the innkeeper always says you can choose your own destiny. And I decided our destiny is to bring those two lovebirds back together. At least for now. Thank you for the follow. Hi. You get to hear me do fun little silly voices now. I think I need to go prepare for our treacherous journey ahead. You should let Melina know you're leaving. She'll be worried senseless otherwise. Let her know you'll be back. I might not be. Don't be like your parents. Whatever. Time to go. So yeah, it's a fun little visual novel. You get to play as a tavern keeper giving quests and cool little potion drinks to all the adventurers, and I like it very much. Do you think I should go after them? I think sometimes we need a bit of time to feel our feelings by ourselves before we feel comfortable enough feeling them in front of other people. And also, you know, be a therapist to all the adventurers. Yeah. That's a no, right? Give him a moment. You'll have plenty of time to be there for him when you're trying to play matchmaker for the undead. Right. We have to do that. Which is fine. I'll be fine. The Mary Morgan probably doesn't even remember me. And if she does, I can just run. Or hide. Or cry. No matter what, you won't be alone. I can't tell Aura how afraid I am. He'll be so embarrassing. If you want to be there for him, you should also let him know when you're scared. It's only fair. I don't want to burden them with my problems. Being a burden every once in a while is part of the wonderful experience of being loved. Your friends appreciate it when you trust them enough to let them help you. Because when you care for people, you're willing to put in a little work to make them smile. But you already know all this, don't you? I do. But it's just so much harder to keep in mind when it comes to myself. I know, but you've been doing very well, Fable. Thank you, Innkeeper. It's all thanks to you. That isn't true. I've been trying to help you the best I can, but you're the one who actually has to change. And I'm proud of how far you've come. Let's call it teamwork then. Let's. Anytime. Can I stay for a little longer? I think I need a bit more time before I can face my fears. Always, Fable. Thank you. Oh, he blows bubbles. That's so cute. Morning. It's not morning. Did I sleep that long? No, it's still the same day. Ah, that makes more sense. Not morning, Elfie. Not morning. How did you sleep? Soundly. Feels like I haven't slept so well in ages. Archie said you're going on a quest? Yeah, Ray and I will be escorting some rich beep to Diria. Be a little nicer, please. He's Archie's friend. Good night, Astro.
Thanks for watching.
Sorry. We'll be escorting some rich idiot to Deria.
He's Archie's friend? I see, that's why he was so excited.
'Cause his friend's leaving? Must be really craving some peace and quiet.
Oh, no. He's excited because they get to travel together.
What?
He said he's coming along.
Since when? Raya invited him. Great. Is it too late to back out? No. Would you like to? I guess. Then feel free. Ray is going to eat that kid alive. And I'm a woman of my word. If you want me to tell you that you have to do this, I'm afraid you'll have to make that decision yourself. Fine. I'll go. But I'll need another drink. That would be rather difficult. I already gave you a drink tailored to your quest, and my boosts shouldn't be mixed so irresponsibly right before an adventure. So I'm just supposed to deal with this headache by myself?
Yes.
Very helpful. Thank you. You're welcome.
Do you think something exciting will happen on your quest?
We'll see.
I've got a good feeling about it.
Reckon I'm gonna meet another guardian?
Maybe. That'd be fun, right? What kind would you like to meet this time?
Not sure. I feel like I already met the one I was looking for. What could be greater than tricking a wyvern chimera?
You're right. I think that means it's time to befriend the Realm Keepers now.
Wouldn't that be something?
I'm pretty sure you have. I'm pretty sure we are a Realm Keeper. Which one would you like to meet the most?
Gaia. Can't think of a greater honor than that. You?
Gaia as well, but I feel like I should pick someone else. For balance. Cassiopeia, maybe? I'd love to ask her how she's doing right now. Maybe give her a hug.
You'd be the type to give a dragon a hug.
What does that mean?
That you're very lovely, I think. Something like that. So, fellow dragon enjoyer, who would you pick? No repeats. We'll go with Erd, the first dragon and the origin of everything. There's just something fascinating about trying to understand the incomprehensible. They say their domain is covered in the roots of the ether tree. Laying eyes upon them supposedly reveals unspoken truths of the universe. Wonder what that'd do to you. Something fun, I'm sure. But I suspect your quest will have its merits even if you don't meet any of the Realm Keepers.
That's true. I bet you and Raya will have a lot to talk about, and you can teach Archie more about adventuring.
I'm not so sure about that.
You're a great teacher. I've learned so much from you already, just by being your friend. Like how to say what I really mean. I'm still working on it, obviously, but I feel so much better when I'm being honest about what I want.
You've been getting a lot better at it.
Thank you. And Melly loves practicing with you too. She says she wants to ask Rhea to build her a great sword of her own.
So a regular-sized dagger? Teaching someone to hold a sword is one thing. Got some bravery or something else. Not sure I can teach Archie something I'm still practicing myself.
You can always practice together.
Yeah. Speaking of practice, you're going on a quest too, Alfie?
I am! Aura and I are going to fix the Banshee and the Mary Morgan's relationship.
Is that sneaky twister's new name?
It is.
Ain't you scared of the Mary Morgan?
Only a little. Okay, maybe a lot'll. Do you think she's going to drown me? Or do you think the Banshee will? Maybe they'll reunite through the teamwork of drowning me?
Probably not. I think you'll probably find some wacky as heck solution that no person in the history of dragonkind would have ever thought of. Like being kind or whatever.
I'd like that.
And if all else fails, you've always got an insane air echo by your side to pull you out of the water. If you can swim.
He's sane.
Is he?
Well, mostly I think he's sad. And sadness can make people feel a lot of intense things. Like fear or anger or nothing at all. Anything that isn't sadness. It's easy to lose yourself in that. But there's always a way out, if you're looking.
Mm-hmm. You taking that sheepfish thing along?
Maybe. I think you might let him stay with Melina, so she isn't so alone. Or so he isn't at risk of losing him. Probably both.
Not a bad idea. Would hate for her to be all alone while you two go chasing ghosts. Maybe we can send Grace over to check up on her.
Or Hex.
No. Guess if you're going with whatever the Drake's name is, you'll finally be able to ask him about his cheesecake recipe.
Cheesecake recipe? Melina mentioned he has a good one. I thought maybe he could show me how to make it.
Sounds like a great idea. Ask him. You can use my kitchen if you want to.
Really? That would be amazing. I'll ask him. Maybe.
Andu will be waiting for you.
On a completely different note,
Carolyn, what happened to those undead snails you wanted to check in on? Well, they're slow, ain't they? Still got a little time to stick around. So you'd say you like it here? It's not too bad here. Thought maybe I'd even bring my cousin a souvenir. Hands off my trinkets. I ain't that air echo. I'll get her something for the market, or the elf settlement. And maybe I'll bring you something back from her farm, Elfie. You mentioned you'd love to try planting some ghost berries. Either way, I'll stop by sooner or later. Don't want to risk her turning into a werewolf and moving house. No, but seriously, if any more of my family members turn into dragon-forsaken werewolves, I'll be joining the Van Helsings.
Still don't know if they kill werewolves.
Don't care.
Do you think I could come with you? When you go, I mean. I could gather the ghost berries myself, and I know a lot about snails.
You should. You've got away with her family members. And the snails would love you. Have to agree. You'd probably make it a chaotic mess, but...
A fun chaotic mess?
Yeah. Seems like you guys did end up forming a party after all. Shut up. Okay.
Anyway, it's late. I think I should go back to the settlement and catch some rest. Carolyn, do you want to come with? We can stop by the werewolf settlement and say hi to Mr. Dragon. Or bye.
Ain't sure I got any tips for you in return, but I can listen to you worrying.
Yeah, you're good at that. Do you want to come too, innkeeper?
I'm afraid Andu doesn't do well in civilization. Or alone.
Especially not alone. But I'll be eagerly awaiting your stories. We'll return with plenty.
I'm counting on it. Good night, Carolyn. Good night, Fable. Night.
Good night.
Am I not going to get to open this letter until like the very end of the game? I want to open the letter. Oh, new people. New people. I I'm once again in that position where I'm like, I know what your voice is, but it is not a voice that I can do. Well, we'll try and find something. Phew, I knew we took the right path. Who said we can't road trip all by ourselves? Liam did, I think. I think that was perhaps a rhetorical question. Whoa, dude, didn't see you there. What's up? The sky, last time I checked. It better be. It'd be very confusing otherwise. Very true. Is this your crib? It is indeed. Welcome to the Wayfarer's Inn. With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? Polygeist and the goodest of boys, Scott Howell. And together, we are the Prank Masters. With a Z. Woo. Pleasure to meet you. I'm your humble innkeeper. Awesome. What drinks do you serve? Oof, yeah. We're in desperate need of some booze. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I don't serve booze. What? Why? The age rating system is quite harsh on such things. And I've got to keep the place open somehow. I feel ya. We've all got some burdens to carry. What else have you got? Magical beverages that can enhance your abilities. It's even rumored they might influence your fate. Whoa, that's so cool, dude. Like an influencer, but for fate. A fate-fluencer. That would go so hard on Momentgram. What's a Momentgram? We should hook you up with Milo. They can explain it all better. Innkeep, please influence our fate before I get bored. I'm feeling incredibly depleted from this weird AF trip. Sounds like you're in dire need of some stamina. Though, I think you could use something a bit stronger than usual. Dope. Give me your strongest potion. Technically... never mind. Alright, we want strength. We'll go with Southern Brawler. Hit undo. A funky drink for a funky gal. Let's see. Whoa, this is good. Very good. So good I don't even miss the booze. Well, maybe a little bit. I'll take that as a compliment. Try this, Scott. Ooh, that tickles. Just like pickle juice. So, Scott Howell, would you like a drink as well? Nah. But you could tell us where we are and what cool things we can check out around here. You're in Zenith, in the Republic of Fizoa. Are you lost? Nope. At least not as long as we're having a blast. You do seem slightly out of this world, though. Ooh. Maybe you're onto something, potion seller. You know, we were road tripping. Supposed to be the trip of our lives. When something weird happened. We were about to take the next turn at a crossroads, and then whoosh. A portal opened up. And I couldn't hit the brakes in time. Yeah, we drove straight through and ended up on a gravel road. Everything seemed different and dated. So dated. Dated? Duh. I've seen and done plenty of weird stuff, but this is a different kind of weird. So weird. No cars, only carriages and stuff. Cars? Yes. Do you mean carts? Kinda. More like carriages, but without the horses. I'm afraid I've got no clue what you're talking about.
I don't think cars exist here, Scott.
Now it makes sense that my phone has no signal either.
What makes sense? We landed in the past.
Whoa. Does that mean we time traveled?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I doubt time travel is possible. It sounds more like you participated in inter-universal travel. Which is rare, but happens occasionally. Wait. So what you're saying is, we are super special and lucky to have participated in such an event? Likely.
Dope. This is a sign, Scott. The universe sent us here to wreak havoc.
Ooh! The prank masters will strike again. Soon. After a nap. Can we take a nap, Polly? Good idea. Hey, funky mystery magic mystery pal, you better get to writing that tour guide. I'll see what I can do. Good. Do you have a room for us? Of course. I've got a room upstairs. Just ignore the scratching sounds and leaking water by the iron door. Don't worry, we've seen worse than that. We've got plenty of experience with sea monsters. Always hyped to meet more. See you in a bit, Inky. Come on, Scott. Let's hit the sheets. Maybe I should add some do not enter signs.
Hello.
Glad to see you, Baya.
Thank you for having me. Now that...
Is your friend's dispute still ailing you?
Still so lonely. Lonely. I came to ask, have you sent someone to help my friends?
I did, actually.
You did?
Yes, I sent Fable and Aura to solve the dispute.
Oh. Then let's hope they'll be friends again soon, so we can have tea parties again. And I can stop being lonely. At least people are visiting my spa. That's good. Thank you for handing out my coupons.
Did I hear spa?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Doesn't that sound like something, Scott? Ooh, I love spa things. Now, are you our tour guide, sweet bog creature?
Tour guide?
These two are Polygeist and Scott Howell. They're currently looking for entertainment. And a way back home. But entertainment first, obviously. It's getting incredibly boring here. No offense, funky magic mystery pal. None taken.
Where is your home?
In a portal, or something. Yeah, we came through a portal, which in itself is pretty rad. But we've had the medieval tavern experience and all. It was good while it lasted, but it's time to move on.
Move on to my spa?
Something like that. Which makes me think, Baya, do you think you could help them find a way back home?
Of course.
You can do that?
But first, you have to visit my spa.
Nothing easier than that. I'm in need of a facial anyways. The air here is so dry.
My bog water is especially moisturizing.
Wait. Does that mean we get to go skinny dipping in some hot springs?
Oh yes, absolutely. My hot springs are the best.
Cool. So a pit stop at your spa and then a road trip back home? You join us for the ride, sweet bog creature? Please say yes.
We'll see. I'll first show you the portal and my spa.
If you bring them to the portal, you could take a ride with them through it. Might help you with your loneliness.
You think so?
Yes. No one's lonely on a ride with the Prank Masters.
I'll think about it. Which portal do you want to take? The one through Avalon, full of dreams and forests? Or the one through the Twilight Chasm, a place full of dread and weird fishies?
Oh, the Twilight Chasm sounds spooky. I love spooky. I love dreams. They're so weird. I love the Swamp Lady. Like that one dream I had where I was my own dad.
Where should I lead them, innkeeper?
Hi. Yay, you get to hear the fun voices. The portal to Avalon is just around the corner.
Through the lush forests of the Ashen Grove.
The way we came, not gonna lie, that's lame. But it's a quick way home. I'm full of dreams, Polly. Imagine how many pranks we could pull on sleeping people. That's not
true. Amazing, then it's settled. Can't wait to show you my mud masks.
Can't wait to show you the world, sweet bog creature.
My name is Baya.
Let's hit the road, Baya. Enjoy your trip and safe travels. Goodbye, potion seller. See ya.
Goodbye, innkeeper.
I'm glad Baya could find a little comfort in those peculiar visitors, at least. I'm excited to hear the story she'll tell when she gets back. Water break. I'm not gonna kill my voice this time. Good evening, innkeeper. Good evening, Grace. Could I ask you for a drink? Anytime. What can I do you for? I'm pretty spent. Do you have something that will keep my mind awake a little longer? I should have something that can do just that. One moment. We'll go with this. A drink for the mind and soul. Enjoy. Thank you. This is just what I needed. Why are you still so tired? I thought you were done with your thesis. I am, which also means I need to figure out what to do next. The possibilities are endless, but not boundless, so considerations are a complicated endeavor. Have you considered a break? I have. Say, innkeeper, if you had forever, what would you do with it? Run a tavern. I've never thought about that before. I like being an innkeeper, so I could just keep doing this forever. It's relaxing and safe, and I get to meet the most wonderful people and wizards all day. Forever is a really long time. Isn't there anything else you would like to do? I just wanted to learn how to play the harp. Oh, why haven't you? No time, no muse, no talent. Or maybe I'm just waiting for the right moment. When will that moment come? I'm not sure. I just don't feel like the harp belongs to me right now. Let me know when it does. I'd love a concert. Will do. What would you do with immortality? I would learn everything there is to learn. Every language, instrument, skill, and facet of mortal existence. I would travel the plains with my brother and learn even more. Have an infinite amount of tea parties. I'd come to those. When we were little, Hex would always make all the stuffed animals dance around our little tea table. We didn't have any money for music boxes, so he just made up songs for them to dance to. He sang them to me. If I had the time, I would love to write down all those songs and invent dances for them. You should make time for that. It's your time, after all. And besides, while you don't have forever, you do have quite a lot. An elven lifespan is nothing to scoff at, even if you only get half. Not if you got the human side of the lifespan. Oh, that's less time. It is, but I'll make the most of it. What will you do next, then? I'm not sure yet. I was thinking about going to Asphodel, the capital of the Magocracy? Magocracy. I heard the libraries there are 60 stories tall and rivers float through the sky in an exuberant display of mana. Sounds like paradise for someone like you. Yes, but Hex really wants to stay here. He likes Fizoa, Zenith, the Ashen Grove. I think he likes how quiet it is, if you would believe it. I don't think he'd like the bustle of it all. You could just go without him. There's a Magocracian embassy in Zoford. Their teleportation is expensive, but reliable. I don't think he wants to go back to Zoford either, and I won't make him. He could teleport himself, then. He really shouldn't. It's quite a long distance, and he's always been awful at teleportation. He could take a ship. I appreciate the effort, but I don't think a ship would help make the distance acceptable to him. He's always going to follow me, no matter where I go. I think he doesn't want to miss out on any adventures or celebrations or funerals. You can just tell him you want to go alone. But then he'd be alone too. Just talk to him, Grace. I don't want to spend our time together fighting. I just don't want him to spend it mourning me either. You should tell him that. He'll have enough time to mourn you when you're gone. Unlike life, that never ends. I suppose you're right. I'd like to leave something he can remember me by. Maybe I'll build my own wizard tower. Please do. I love those. Did you hear about the one on Molia near Dortwell? The one with the infamous Magocracian fugitive? That word is just not working for me. The very same. It seems that its wizard has disappeared without a trace, leaving his tower vacant.
I've always wanted to stop by for tea, but I don't want to be rude and intrusive, so I haven't. I wonder what he left behind. I'm sure it's a collection of fascinations and impossibilities. Couldn't you just teleport in to check? You can't exactly teleport in and out of well-protected places all willy-nilly. You might end up trapped or on a whole other plane. You might. Maybe that's what happened to the wizard. Maybe. No one seems to know what happened to him, or who he even was, and no one seems interested in finding out either. Isn't that sad? A little. I don't want to disappear like that. You won't. I'll tell you a story for as long as I'm around. How long is that? For as long as this world will bear me. You are very easy to bear. Thank you, Grace. Would you like to stay a little while? Please. I find your inn truly inspiring. I'll be here if you need a rubber duck. I'm counting on it. Fable! Hi, innkeeper. Hi, you two. A drink, please. Or two, actually. Sure thing. Actually, what name are we on right now? Well, Aura is still fine. Come on, that was a whole week ago. I was busy. Want to come up with a new one now, then? Can I come up with one? Sure. How about Kumo? I feel like you look like a Kumo. It fits. He is just as stealthy as a spider. And just as cute. I'll take your word for it. All drinks. Can we get them now? Of course. What would you like? Something sweet. Bubbly, maybe. If you can find something that's... you know. Sure. I'll see if I can find the words you're looking for. No. Liquid charisma for those in need. Maybe you should try it then. Do you want to send it back? No, it's good. Glad to hear that. Fable, what can I get you? Maybe something that will make me feel like a cloud. Like I'm so light on my feet, I'm practically floating. I think I've got something for that. I don't have anything new for dexterity. I need a new dexterity drink. I feel like 1,000 Winds should be dexterity. The usual for the usual favorite. Thank you. It's delicious as all usual. That's what I like to hear. I like the new hair, by the way. Oh, you do? Thank you. It looks really nice, right? Have I been flirting with Fable? Blue Jay, you've been here for all 3 streams now. Have I been flirting with Fable? Kumo braided it for me. He helped me calm down after we encountered the Mary Morgan. But I should probably start at the beginning, right? Valid. I'm not the person to ask here either. It's been completely unintentional if I have been. I've just been picking the nice answers. I just want to be nice to them because they're a nice person. But I think I might be flirting with them. Receive him when you need him. But I should probably start at the beginning, right? I'd appreciate that. Alright, so what happened at the beginning? The ship to Boreas. Right. I was a bit worried about the journey we were embarking on. After all, the seas around Boreas are famously hard to traverse, with all the wild magic around it and all. But just before we left Zenith, we ran into Una in the midst of an arm wrestling match against Iniko. We took the opportunity to ask her for advice. Thought maybe she had traveled there before. You could have also asked me. She was closer. Right. Did she have any good advice? She did. With her help, we were able to avoid all of the dangerous maelstroms, sea stacks, and iceberg elementals. That must have made for a very relaxing journey. It did. It was very inspiring, too. We were able to see the dancing, colorful auroras in the night sky as we drew closer. They were starless, but still breathtakingly gorgeous. I even started on a new song. It wasn't ready to be shared yet, though. I just wanted a sneak peek. Well, you should have snuck better. A new song? Can I hear it? It's not done yet. Thanks to Una, we made it to Boreas a lot faster than we had planned. We also docked far away from the typical explorer's route. It was completely abandoned by everything but nature, as if no one but us had been there before. Kind of exciting. Very adventurous, for sure. As we headed inland, we were quickly swallowed by the fog that engulfs almost the entire island. Moved in strange patterns, creating unidentifiable forms within the mist that hungered for life. The thickets rustled as we walked by, whether moved by wind or by creatures we couldn't tell. The trees were shaped strangely, with shimmering portals forming in their empty husks. Our own quiet breaths were often interrupted by shrill, shrieking sounds that seemed to come from right above us. It was almost idyllic. Or scary. It was mostly scary. I wouldn't have minded strolling around until we ran into something roaming the island, but it was a little cold, So, I found a local to ask for directions. While wandering around, we came across a clearing surrounded by tall trees. Or rather, one tree. All of them were connected, intertwined with one another. Through one of their twisted connections, a waterfall with no discernible origin was flowing into a small pond. And in its midst rested a nymph! A real nymph! Doing taxes? She was weaving flower crowns for the fish. She was beautiful, with long black hair and skin that glistened in the sunlight being reflected off the waterfall. Her eyes were like sparkling gemstones, and her smile was full of kindness. She was all right, but also the only person around. So Fable asked her for directions? No. Fable asked her about everything but directions.
I asked her for directions. She was very helpful. She even gave us a gift. A gift? That's sweet. She gave us earplugs against the Banshee's song, so our bones wouldn't shatter. Very helpful. Did you offer to write her a jingle in return? I did! She said if we were to survive the encounter with the Banshee, I could come back and she'd think of what she'd need a jingle for. She was thinking about setting up a dragonfly exhibition, so maybe for that? See you soon. Drive safe. Who would she even advertise to? Frogs. And toads. The Banshee was our first priority. So we stealthily made our way to the Lonesome Lagoon with earplugs in our ears. We mostly walked and talked about our favorite dragonflies. As we finally approached the Lonesome Lagoon, the thick mist enveloped us. It suddenly became so cold we could see our own ragged breaths. And then we heard it. A song filled with all the sorrow of the world compressed into a single note. It sounded really nice. There was so much emotion in that song. Sadness, longing, yearning, anger. We wanted to be polite and wait until she was done singing, but she just kept going, like tears that wouldn't stop. So I decided to be a little rude, stepped forward and said hello. They said, "Hello, Banshee, I really like your song." That confused the Banshee so much that she stopped. She smiled, bearing a row of deadly sharp teeth. She was very nice, actually. She asked if we wanted to steal from her lagoon. When we said no, she invited us to sing along. Did you? Of course. It was kind of fun. It was. And I thought, what better time to bring up the Mary Morgan but now? So I led with, I bet you do this with your girlfriend all the time, right? She suddenly looked at me with hatred and anger and then just started screaming. I was very thankful for the earplugs at that moment. I think without them my bones might have melted. That was our cue to leave, so I pulled Fable back into the thicket of the Borean forest. Obviously we couldn't just leave it at that failure, so we looked around for a peace offering. We found some spiky pink fruits with a pattern of little ghost tortoises on them. We thought she might like them. She liked them enough to stop screaming at us, and we sat down at the side of the lagoon to talk. It's beautiful, by the way. Right in the middle is the giant portal to the Twilight Chasm. It colors the water this deep, dark blue with swirling clouds of darkness within. There were bones floating in the lagoon, too. I almost brought one for your tavern. Why didn't you? I thought you wouldn't like it. I love bones. I'll keep that in mind for the future. The Banshee actually fished out some bones to fidget with. It stopped her from screaming every time she brought up the Mary Morgan. Or Marmor. Marmor, as she calls her. Turns out that Mary Morgan had been ignoring all of her calls. Ever since the Banshee was crowned Gaia's scariest monster by Screech Magazine. She told us it carved a hole in their relationship, that it caused a lot of jealousy. And she was disappointed that Mary Morgan cared more about some stupid popularity contest than her. We asked her if she wanted to talk about it with the Mary Morgan herself. But she said that she didn't need to apologize for being scary. She was very thankful she got to talk about it, though. She was holding it all in because she didn't want to burden Baya with all the drama. She even offered for us to spend the night at her nearby cave, which was really nice of her. Did you end up taking a nap at her lair? We thought about it, but it was filled to the brim with the riches of the dead, which was far too alluring to allow us to fall into the call of sleep. You found loot? You have my attention. What did you find? Gold, bones, skulls, jewels of all sizes. And a lute! It was broken, but I picked it up anyway.
There was also a delicate silver mirror that had hearts carved all over it. Kumo recognized it as magical from its arcane markings. Melina showed me them in some book the other day, when the wizard in Zoford showed us around his library. It was a mirror of far speech. It lets you speak to anyone on this plane, given that you've seen them before. So you called Melly? No, we called the Mary Morgan. Ah, that makes more sense. How did it go? Well, I had to be the one to make the call since Kumo had never met her. When her face appeared, all I could do was stare in horror as she gazed back at me. I felt like I was back in the Ashen Grove, leading adventurers to their doom, and I just froze. So I took the mirror out of their hands. Her first words were threats of what she would do to us if we dared to harm the Banshee. Of course we hadn't. That briefly calmed her down. Until I asked her why she wasn't here if she was so worried about the Banshee's well-being. Avoiding the question, she instead talked to us about the state of the lagoon. She complained that it must be incredibly loud with all the tourists and whatnot. I assured her there were no tourists, at least none that were alive. So she asked what I was doing in the lair then. Honestly, I replied that the Banshee had offered us a place to stay in her cave. I quickly realized that I had picked the wrong thing to say. Her eyes started bleeding black ichor and she began cursing us out in tongues. The mirror cracked under her gaze and started bleeding black water. It was terrifying. And then we were just supposed to sleep there as if she couldn't crawl out of the mirror any second. After that happened, I thought that we shouldn't discuss our further plans in that cave. So I pulled Fable outside and we went for a walk. The nymph had mentioned this enchanted flower field where she collects flowers for the fish. So we went there. Thought it might be a good spot. It was a good spot. Even though I couldn't stop shaking for a while, the flowers really helped. As did not being alone. Was that when Kumo braided your hair? It was, yes. My hair kept falling in my face and it was overwhelming me. So he sat me down and braided it away while I worked on rebuilding the lute. He said that some distraction would help. Talking also really helped. Even if I asked a lot of stupid questions. They weren't stupid, just curious. Did you have a favorite one? They asked where I learned to braid hair. That actually brought us further on our quest. How so? Well, I learned it from my mother. It's the only thing I feel I have left of her. It was a way of apologizing. She was never very good with words. It made me think. Sometimes people aren't very direct with what they mean. I have heard of that, yes. Like the Mary Morgan, she didn't seem angry about the Banshee outdoing her in some fear pageant. She didn't even mention it once. She only got upset when she thought we had hurt the Banshee. Or when she thought we were tourists. Or when we said we were staying in that cave. Like she was jealous of something entirely different from the issue of Screech Magazine. We talked it through and decided we had to get the two of them to talk face to face. Obviously it would be difficult because of the distance, but I had taken the mirror with me when we left. Thought it might be useful. Ever the thief? Indeed. I used it to call Baya. I asked her to tell the Mary Morgan to come to Boreas. Fable mentioned she can teleport via plants, however that works. She can. You should try it out. It's nauseating. I think we'll pass. While I went to talk to the Banshee, Kumo picked up the Mary Morgan. She and I really connected on eyeliner techniques. When we arrived at the lagoon, they were immediately ready to claw at each other's throats. And not in a fun way.
but somehow we managed to convince them to sit down. We tried to get them to talk about their feelings, but they just kept talking past and over and away from each other, arguing about an issue that didn't exist. So I had this crazy idea. I took out my new lute and asked them if they wanted to write a song together. They declined and insisted their voices would clash, but I thought at the very least it'd stop them from arguing. Kuma helped me convince them by summoning tiny rain clouds, pitter-pattering in a gentle melodic rhythm, to inspire them to give it a try. We asked them to put all their emotions about the whole situation into a song. In the end, they harmonized together perfectly, like their voices were made for each other in the gentle hum of my lute. It was beautiful. And a little bone-shattering, but very romantic. Most importantly, the song finally got them to understand each other. Like Kuma had suspected, the Mary Morgan was scared, not jealous, now that the Banshee was so popular. She feared the Banshee would become really busy with tourists visiting all the time. She assumed she wouldn't have time for her anymore. But the Banshee assured her she doesn't care about any of the tourists. Only about the Mary Morgan. And Baya, of course. We told them to talk to her too. We mentioned how much she'd been missing them. They agreed to meet for a tea party in the Ashen Grove, so Baya doesn't have to travel too far. Did you invite them to your barbecue? No. After the outpouring of emotions, they wanted some time for themselves. The quest was done. It had only taken us 2 days, which was really efficient. Unfortunately, we had told the ship to pick us up in 3 days, so we were trapped on the island. So you swam back? What? No. What's wrong with you? The usual. We started brainstorming about what we could do while we waited. So I asked about that cheesecake recipe. But then I realized there wasn't anywhere to bake it. They don't have any taverns on Boreas. It was a stupid idea. It wasn't. Somewhere on the island had to be something to bake a cheesecake in. Did you find that something? We did, but it turned into its own small quest. First, we had to find the right place for our little adventure. We met these lovely gnomes living in their little mushroom houses, and they offered to let us use their ovens. But they were too small, so they introduced us to the local Toad Hill giant. Its kitchen was enormous, but it was easier to work in than one that was too small. Then the gnomes, the nymph, and the giant helped us gather ingredients from all across the island. So we were able to make enough cheesecake for everybody. I burned mine a bit. But when we made the second batch for the ship's crew, they were already starting to turn out better. Kuma was a really good teacher. And you're a really good student. Thank you. The cake really lifted the crew's spirits on the journey back. We agreed to teach them the recipe once we hit land. Afterwards, they invited us to the captain's birthday party. They even introduced us to a traveling obelisk who sang us a song of the ancients. It showed us a shortcut through the Rhyolith mountain range where we met some flaming songbirds. And now you're here. And now we're here. Well, I'm glad you came back. Of course you did. I promised a good story. And you delivered tenfold. Where are you two going next? I should probably talk to Melina. She was pretty mad when I left. I guess I should apologize while I still can. Good idea. Do you want me to come with you? No, I think I need to do this alone. Or rather, with her. And I have to check in on Rufus, too. Maybe Hex taught her some fun magic tricks in the meantime. You left her with Hex? And with Grace. Don't worry, nothing was set on fire. I should go. But before I go, do you maybe want to do something together later today, tomorrow? Like a thing?
Oh, like hanging out together? We could play charades with the werewolves. Yeah, is that what you were thinking of doing, Kumo?
No. I was thinking more like spending time together.
Like on a walk?
Like on a date.
Oh! Okay. That sounds really fun.
Cool. I'll pick you up. Or I'll see you around. Whatever. I'll see you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Aww, they're cute.
He asked me on a date.
He did. That's... Oh. What do I do now? Do you think Archie has books on dating? Or should I ask the Hydra for advice? It probably knows about dating, right? Archie is still on his quest. Also, I'm right here. You're right. What should I do? Just go. See where it takes you. Or where he takes you. Hopefully somewhere nice. I do feel safe with him. So maybe I should try trusting this more. Mostly, I think you should just be honest with him. He seems to like you for who you are, so there's no need to hide. That's the scary thing. Why does he feel that way? Because you are very lovely? People keep saying that. But sometimes I just feel a lot lovelier hiding, you know? To me, it sounded like it's perhaps a bit too late for that. Sorry for listening in. You two are just very sweet. It's okay. I also thought it was very sweet. He was very sweet. But now that he's gone, I have time to think again. And I'm not sure if it was supposed to be that type of sweet anymore. Maybe he was just being nice? He asked you on a date because he was just being nice. Well, maybe he felt bad for me or something. Innkeeper dear, I think Fable might be in need of another drink. Maybe something to untangle their thoughts, something for a quick escape from all this overthinking. That sounds good. I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna give them a honey flower because I think they could use some inspiration right about now. Hello! The edgy rogue asked Fable on a date! Ah, that's not gonna work. Does this help? Very much so, thank you. I feel like now I can uncurl the yarn ball that is in my brain. I guess I wasn't flirting. I think I'm just really nice. Like, I'm just Fable's friend. I'm just nice to Fable. What do you think I should do? What do you want to do? I want to go on our date, and I want to get to know him better. Maybe even get him to know me better too. Do you think he would like that? I think so, yes. It seems like you don't need our answers. You have yours already. Sometimes I just feel like I need permission to listen to my heart. Did you know you can give that permission to yourself? I forget that every time, but I know you're right. I think I know what to do now. Somewhat. But I'll figure the rest out. Thank you for listening to me. I think sometimes that's all I really need when I'm scared. There's nothing wrong with being scared, as long as you don't run from the things that make you happy. You're right. It took me a long while to realize that. Running is so easy, you know? You always know where to go. Away. But staying... You have to actually look at yourself, figure out what your part is in everything. That can be a lot. But... when I was on the journey back from Boreas, dancing with Kumo to the music of the navigator's fiddle, thinking about how I would have never gotten to that point if I hadn't put myself out there, I realized that life is so much more than a constant game of hide and seek from the things that truly mean something. And I decided to stop running from life, even if I'm scared. I want to do my best to face my problems. Even though it's terrifying, I know that I'm not alone. Is this still about Kumo? No, he was never a problem. He's one of the reasons I'm not alone. Just like you. With good friends by my side, I can do anything. See, we're getting friend-zoned. My headcanon is that the innkeeper definitely was flirting with Fable, but is just trying to be a very good friend and being like, I'm not gonna get in the way of this because you two are also really cute together and seem to really like each other, so I'm just gonna let this happen. But we're also getting friend-zoned majorly right now. And I can't wait to see what you will do. It might not be as impressive as you hope, but it will be me, and I'm excited about that. Me too. I'm really proud of you, Fable. Thank you for everything, especially the great advice. That was really great advice. Maybe you should take some of it too, Grace. Maybe you should. But we all conquer life at our own pace. My personal next Goliath is going to be reapplying my lip gloss. And maybe some blush. I do feel a little pale. Can I borrow a mirror for a bit, innkeeper? Of course. There are some free rooms and mirrors upstairs, right next to the acorn chimes. Just ignore the doors with the do not enter signs. You shouldn't have said that. Now I want to check. Please don't. I won't. I'm polite. Or am I? Let's hope she won't find all the nightmare creatures you have locked up there. Let's. Have you ever visited the Twilight Chasm? Not for long enough to capture any creatures. I see. What are you thinking about, innkeeper? Well, you know, innkeeper things. I don't know, since I'm not an innkeeper and all. Right. That song you mentioned, the one you started writing on the ship? I know it's not done yet, but how about a little sneak peek? To see if it would make for a good jingle. I don't think it's jingle material, but I don't mind sharing it with you. Just keep in mind that it's a work in progress. Of course. There's a calling on the wind beneath the talk of the keep. I've heard the tales, set the sails, now it's time for me to leave. Sounds like a great opener. So you like it? It's wonderful. I can't wait to hear more. Me too. but it's still a little rough around the edges. I feel like it's missing something. Maybe the next adventure. Maybe. Will you let me know when it's done? Of course. I can't wait to show you the finished version. Thank you, Fable. I'm proud of you. For maybe finally finishing a song? For not running. Oh. Thank you. Me too. Innkeeper, do you ever think about taking your own advice? All the time, yes. Why don't you? I don't know. It's hard, I know. But I promise I believe in you as much as you believe in me. And I know we'll both be okay. I would like that. Me too. Well, I've talked a lot today. I'll give you some space. Maybe it's time to stop running. Should I... Is it time to read that letter? Yes! Yes, it is! Oh. That was easy. I guess I've been wanting to for a while. Ever since we got it. Let's hope for no regrets. My dearest friend, long has it been since we've talked last. Long has it been since everything has been seared away by the cold flames of death. I wish I could still remember our last conversation, but it's waning memory. I can only imagine how you've enjoyed running away, wishing to forget whatever was between us. Maybe you did for a brief moment, for these 30 years. If you did, I'm writing this letter to kindly remind you of the good old times. To celebrate our reunion, I invite you to the spectacle of this century, the last day of the astral moon, welcoming the first light of the dying moon, where the realm of Tuat is just a grasp away. Are there any spirits you'd like to remember? Are you afraid of what they might tell you? Worry not, I'll be right there. Watch the sky closely on the 35th of Cassiopeia. See you soon, an old friend. That was... I guess you've always been a fan of symbolism. But you didn't even leave an address. Very irresponsible. Beep! Pardon? No time. Duck now. What's going on? Are you okay? Do you need help? Healing? Something's coming. Something big. Your next show? What? No! There's no time. Duck! Is the ground... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Is everyone alright? Phew, that was a close call. Could have been really dangerous. What just happened? Why is there water outside the tavern? I'd also like to know the answer to that question. I've got no clue. I was just outside by the woods drafting my newest song when the ground beneath my feet began to rumble. And not even a minute passed and it rumbled again. Then a wall of water came rushing toward me. I didn't even dare to wait. I ran immediately, looking for shelter. No way I was going to let my hagium get wet. These strings are made of real Acabian silk, and the body's ethereal bamboo. It's a rarity. That's the first thing going through your mind with a giant wave rushing right at you? Of course. This instrument is just as valuable as my hands. And just as versatile. Is everyone alright? Grace, dragons, you're alright. I was worried something had happened to you. Oh, don't worry. When the walls started rumbling, I hid under a table, and then I watched the water rush by the window. It was like a tsunami, but tsunamis are very rare, if not impossible to so far into the mainland. Right. It's so strange. Everything seems to be submerged out there. I wonder what could cause such a cataclysm. It's worrying, to say the least. And it's definitely too dangerous to go outside. Even the tavern is leaking. Don't worry, it'll withstand. Are you sure? I'm sure. I've gotten through worse than this. You? It's gotten through worse than this. Are we, like, part of the tavern? Like, are we the tavern? Wouldn't have thought it could withstand this sort of thing, but even more glad it can. Seems to be a simple yet very sturdy tavern after all. Just like you, innkeeper. Are you flirting with the innkeeper? Me? No. Also, that's beside the point. It is. He just called me sturdy and simple. I wouldn't count that as flirting. You wouldn't? Not really. Aw. Oh no, we made him sad. Right, back to the point. Did you see exactly what happened? Not really. I was listening to the whistle of the wind in the treetops, jotting down notes for my next song, when suddenly a horde of silver-crested deer rushed past me. Before they could trample over me, I jumped up on the rock I was sitting on and watched them gallop downhill. Then I saw water break through the canopies, snapping trees in half like they were shashlik skewers. I wasted no second, turned on my heel, knowing I'd be done for if I waited just a moment longer. Then I was here, and told you to duck. That sounds horrible. Are you alright? Are you hurt? I'm fine, thanks. And anyways, with whom do I have the pleasure? I'm Grace. Nice to meet you, Grace. I'm... Oh my, you're Voyage, aren't you? The silver-tongued virtuoso. Yes, that would be me. My apologies, I didn't mean to push any boundaries. But I saw you perform at Dropstone Institute's campus that one time. And I must say, you pulled on all my heartstrings with your beautiful performance. Oh. I did that? Yes. I was awestruck by what your music could do. It was like magic in its very own way. Music can be very soothing in moments of distress. Were you distressed back then? A little. I don't remember exactly why anymore, but I remember the emotion. But not more distressed than I am right now. I hope Hex is safe and well. I'm sure he is. Shoot! Did you see that creature swim by? What? Where? It looked like a red-winged eel. Oh? Haven't seen one of those in ages. Where's its natural habitat? Actually, the Twilight Chasm. Why is it here? Something isn't right. I'm afraid you might be correct. I'm also afraid. Very much so. I don't think it's safe to go outside. Of course not. You should all stay for the night. Would that be possible? Of course. The tavern will withstand this, and a bit of company wouldn't hurt. I agree. Thank you, innkeeper. Say, you with the lute. What's your name? Fable. My name is Fable. Do you play? The lute, I mean. Sometimes. I'm still practicing and not all that good with it yet. How about we play together? A song or two, to lift our spirits and wait out the catastrophe going on outside. It's very untuned. It goes out of tune really quickly, but I guess that's a lute thing. I gotcha. Show it to me. I'll help you, and then we'll jam until a new dawn rises. I got an achievement. Lup lup, sleep with the fishes. Okay, we have reached Act 3. I'm probably going to end there on that,
interesting note of the world flooding. I could probably go longer, but I don't want to push it. Like, I'm getting a little sore. It's been 3 hours. Alright. Thanks for watching. I probably won't finish this next time. I bet that the last act will probably be about as long as this one. So it'll probably be like 2 more streams. But I'll definitely play this again sometime soon. We might do Phasmophobia tomorrow. Will you be around tomorrow night? If you're around tomorrow night, we're probably gonna play Phasmo. We're gonna do the new update. Going to Redford? Yeah, I don't know. Alyssa said she'd be on, but I don't know exactly when. So it'll probably be later anyways. But just let me know, because I want to get you. We haven't played together in so long. I don't know if she'll actually be around or not, but we'll see, because that'll be fun. All right, good night. Thanks for watching. Bye.